how he deals with this on Overgrowth. This is going to be the map here, guys, for set number 3. Let's jump into it here between Deer and Life. Down here in the bottom left, in the red, the Protoss player from Samsung Galaxy Con. It is Deer.
And the handsome player in the top right, up 2 games. It is KT Life.
Would you say that this is your favorite player right now?
Yes, always been. Always been.
Yeah?
Yes.
It wasn't Sulky at one point?
No.
I swear I swear I remember you saying something about that.
I may have turned code once upon a time, but Life has shown me the way. I have full faith in him.
Okay.
Sulky's still good, man. He's still one of my favorite Zergs, easily.
Of course.
But
yeah.
he's just not on that level, you know?
Life just, I hate to say it, but he really just does find a way sometimes. Like, I always go back. When I think about this guy, I think of, like, Stefano as well. Those guys that, like, can just get wasted before a semifinals of a gigantic tournament and still just win.
Yeah.
And, like, laugh your way through these, like, opponents that no one else could beat up until that point in time, you know?
Well, here's the big difference, though. Like, those players are, like, talented, so talented that they don't have to put in 100%. But then you got a player who's on a Kesper team that has to put in 100%. Then you have a monster. And that's what we have now. Finally, Life has found that team.
Yeah. Has there really been anyone else? I mean, I guess Innovation maybe, but he doesn't really give off that kind of like genius player vibe, you know, like just that naturally gifted, that naturally talented player vibe.
I think he's definitely a player built by hard work, you know, forged by hard work. He's not one of those ultra talented guys. Well, he is very talented, obviously. You got to be very talented to be at that level, but compared to someone like Life, who's just like clearly gifted at the game, gifted at the way of thinking about this game.
I guess when I think of other players, the only other person that really stands out to me is like Boxer from a long time ago. I mean, I didn't personally see his games, but from what I heard was he wasn't like the best macro player or whatever, but he just made it work. He like came out with crazy strategies and just won games over and over. And also had a ton of fans in that regard. So
yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the same of like any of like the big bourgeois sort of players of Brood War. It's like Jadong and Flash, all those guys. Flash definitely another one that's kind of like forged from hard work, I think, but still easy.
Yeah,
clearly like a god at the game, god at RTS games. Still finding his feet in Starcraft 2 though after a couple of years. He'll get there.
He will. Everybody needs to see him in a slump, actually. We'll see how he is here in round 2 of Pro League, which is probably the next time we're going to see him. Who knows if he's even going to play now that Life is on his team. I was thinking about that earlier. Who are they going to take out of that lineup? You know, they have that fantastic 4 stats.
Yeah, well,
TY, Classic, and or Flash and Zest.
Yeah, they weren't very fantastic in round 1, though. So
no, kind of just like the mediocre 4.
Yeah, AVG 4.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we could see just about any of them, except for maybe Zest, get replaced out, I think.
Yeah, Zest has got to stay, even though he had pretty pitiful PvP against Creator.
Some pretty embarrassing stuff for him, but no, he's simply just too good. He's proven himself too many times for him to be taken off his bench. As we look at this game, nothing too interesting so far. Actually, as I say that, we do see 4 gateways being added.
Yep, and 2 sentries here. Looks like Deer's going to want to put on the pressure, possibly just go for a bit of pressure at that third base, make a bunch of force fields, cut the army in half, and just kill it, possibly go for a recall.
Yeah, he's really hoping Life's going to be greedy once again in this game, and I think Life could very well get caught out by this.
Life's just making 3 blind spores.
Yeah, that's a problem. We don't see any Roach Warren anytime soon, no Zergling speed. Gas is only being added now at 6, and this could really catch him off guard.
Oh, it definitely can. That pylon is very far forward. The probe has not been scouted at all. And here we go. The sentries are already out on the map. There's 6 of them. And those gateways are finished, man. Warp gate is done. We're going to see a huge amount of warp-ins. I think it's about 5 gates?
Yeah, that's
5 or 6 gates.
5 gates, man. One thing is, Life did see that pylon. He knows something's up. He's already putting 3 spine crawlers down at the natural, already agreeing to sack that third base and trying to salvage the game from there.
Yep. No speed here for Life, so it would be near impossible to hold this off at this point.
Though we can make a crap load of roaches once that roach horn is finished. We already see him up to 200 gas. We can make at least 8. And with that many minerals, he will, no doubt.
Yep, he goes for 7. Gets supply blocks, losing one of his overlords here.
There we go. 8 on the way.
Yep, there we go. You are correct.
I love it. And the third base goes down. Not a surprise. He let it go, but those spine crawlers, they've finished. 2 more on the way. Roches just popped. He can still hold on here.
Yeah, he definitely can. It is still a lot of units, and Deer is definitely going to go for this. Really nice first fields there. Going to cut off 3 of those roaches in the back, actually. Queen blocking now. And those roaches not really able to get out there and fight, but that is a lot of spines, and they're doing a lot of damage to those stalkers. And it looks like this will be pushed back for now. Some Zerglings try to go for a counterattack, but Deer already getting that wall up.
And look at this. Life, he's stabilized, man. He's completely stabilized. And we see Deer only on Gateway Tech for now. He's adding that robotics facility. Going to be making those immortals soon. And we'll see if he wants to follow up from that, or does he want to take a third base and take it to the mid-game. It's hard to say. I mean, the right choice, I'm not entirely sure, because Life's going to follow up with a lot of roaches. He's going to have the superior sort of composition and army for quite some time. He could make something happen, at least pressure the front, kill some pylons, push his army back while he regains the third base.
Yeah, looks like just for now he's going to put down that third base. He has not cleared out those pylons yet. It looks like he is moving over to do that just now. And with that robo coming up and some immortals popping out, I don't think Life's really going to be able to kill him here. But like you did say, he's going to regain his footing. Do see that Deer's moving over towards that third base, possibly to clean up some of those overlords. And maybe hinting at taking a third base. Or maybe at least just getting rid of the scouting information.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to make sure there's nothing around that third, so it's always under the... you're never entirely sure. Is he going for that third base? Is he going for an attack? It's definitely... Limiting that information is the most important thing in a game. So important for information.
Mm-hmm. No upgrades here for either player, except Wargate Research, I guess. We are going to have the Roach Speed about to finish up here, as well as +1 for the Protoss, about halfway done.
Don't forget Burrow, which is one thing to note, as we do see no observers on the map yet. Obviously, does not want to use Burrow just yet. He wants to make sure he's going to be a bit more of a surprise. Does show it now, though. We are going to see that observer, I think, in just a moment.
Yeah, after that, Immortal pops out for sure. Going to be Chrono boosted out here. And there we go. And Life, he's...
Ooh, borrowed movement. I like it.
Here we go. He's coming in at the third base. He's probably going to be able to cancel that if he just focuses it down. One more hit will... It's pretty low. He's going to leave the Zerglings on it.
They're going to get it, I think. He has to cancel it. Very nicely done.
Saves the last second. Oh. Really nice multitasking here by Life, actually. Just splitting up his roaches and putting on the pressure from 2 angles.
Now, I was getting a little bit nervous that we are only seeing Roach borrow movement, but thankfully he is adding group spines as well, so he can add in Hydras, which I think is going to be pretty important considering we are seeing +2 on the way and Blink Stalkers with these immortals. So a very strong composition. Very, very hard death ball to deal with.
Roaches are coming back in. They're not going to be able to cancel the Nexus this time. They will get a kill on one of those probes, though. +2 on the way here, along with that Blink you were talking about. Just kind of going for a solid Protoss army. Blink Stalkers plus Immortals. Very good against Roaches. He's got 29 of them so far, Life does, but we do see Infestation Pit on the way, as well as 8 Hydras in the mix.
Yeah, finally trying to get his third base. Life took that a little bit slower. He really wanted to get some damage done, but unfortunately, Deer made the right choice in composition, and it's going to be a very hard one to break. He's going to kill this cannon, but he's going to have to get out. He can't really stick around for too long. It's way too much DPS.
Yep. That Mothership Core being there just makes me laugh. It kind of just tickles the Roaches. Especially with Burrow, they just burrow and regen all the health. Doesn't even matter.
You see that Infestation Pit being made. We are seeing him go to Hive as well as out of Spire. What is the next step here? Are we going to see Vipers once again, or are we going to see something else? What else could he go? I mean, he could go for that Muta switch if he needs to.
Yeah, I mean, he could just be like leaving open that tech, I guess, like you were saying, for that tech switch a little bit later on. Maybe force a bunch of units that aren't good against mutas. But for now, he's just, you know, droning up those bases. He's up to 70 drones now, and he's just being annoying with these roaches. He's got to be careful now with Blink done to not lose too many of them, because he's going to want them a little bit later on as he goes for attacks and stuff. And now Deer has had enough. He is pushing life away from the bases. He's found both of these groups of roaches, and he wants blood. Yeah,
he's getting a lot of kills, actually. This could be a big problem. It could definitely counter a trigger attack. Sorry.
Trigger a
counter attack.
Yep.
English. And I think it might just do that, because that was a lot of roaches that went down.
Here we go. Attacking up the ramp here. That's a lot of Hydras in the back doing a lot of DPS. They have a really nice concave. The Spines are doing some decent damage as well, but that is a lot of heavily upgraded Protoss units right now.
Yeah, that is way too much. Looks like the Hydras are going to try. That blink forward was a little ambitious, but there should still be enough units to deal with just about everything else. We should see Life lose this game.
Yeah, a lot of these drones are being pulled in a huge time warp there on all of the Hydras over there on the left side. Big blink back now. He's not going to do any blink forwards at this point in time. Life trying to push forward and get that final damage done, but it's just not going to be enough. And Deer's going to push forward and take name number 3 here on Overgrowth.
Whenever he decides to. There we go.
GG.
All right, so a little bit of a hiccup there for Life. A good strategy by Deer. He did notice finally, or maybe Stork noticed and came in and told him about, like, hey man, he's playing very greedy, all right? You need to punish that. You need to go for something a little crazier, a little more aggressive. And that 5-gate was just the perfect answer to it.
Yeah. Really reading into his style. Next map here is going to be Deadwing. It's going to be a bit of a bigger map, so it really does open up Life to do that kind of greedy style, but it also does allow the Protoss, I guess, to go for that greedy style on 3 bases. Very easy for the Protoss to take those 3 bases. Then again, Deer has shown not the greatest success with that today, so we'll see if he decides to go for that build or do something else.
Yeah. The positions on this map does tell a lot of the story. We'll find out a lot more when we get into the game. But yeah, I wonder what the coach is saying to Life, because he had a bit of a laugh when he came in. Maybe like he's like, hey man, you just